Can I ask you something? Have you ever been triggered by a situation, a person, or experience, or an event that you just can't seem to get past or get through? I know it's happened to me on more than one occasion. And so, what if I told you it wasn't the event or the situation itself, but it was actually the meaning that we gave to the situation? I'm Jeanette Schaub. I'm the creator of Next Level Living. Grab some coffee, get comfortable, and let's talk about this for a few minutes. I've spent years coaching women through triggering events, life's biggest transitions, and a few things that we all have in common is that we tend to blame ourselves and create stories or things that become our stories. And we have a lot of limiting beliefs. And then the other thing is that we tend to look outward, right? And so, for instance, if you're triggered by a person or relationship, it could be, well, if they only acted right, if they only did this, if they weren't so whatever, you fill in the blanks. It could be a situation, right? If that hadn't happened, if I was better, if I was more qualified, if, right? And so that becomes a story that we tell ourselves. And so I don't know if you've ever heard this expression, but our beliefs create our experiences, and our experiences support our beliefs. Meaning, what I believe to be true, I can go out right now actually and find evidence to support that. And the problem is, or the challenge is, if those beliefs aren't true to begin with, then I'm finding evidence that just keeps reinforcing the story and the beliefs. And so I'm going to give you a couple of examples of the meaning that we attach to put this into context. But let's say, have you ever left a voicemail for somebody or put a call in or sent a text message only to receive crickets? Nothing in return. And so I'm going to ask you if that's ever happened. I'm sure it has. It's happened to all of us, right? What's the first thing you tell yourself? I'll let you think about that for a second. Probably that you must have done something wrong. You start replaying the last conversation. You think that they're upset with you or something else has occurred. So that the situation is I sent a message and I didn't get a response. The meaning I attach to that is that it's about me somehow. I must have done something wrong, right? So that's example number one. Let's go number two. Have you ever applied for a job or had a job interview where maybe they said, we'll call you on Friday, and then the weekend comes by, you haven't heard anything, or you submit your resume to 100 places and you don't get any callbacks? What is the meaning that you attach to that? I must not be qualified. If I went on the interview, maybe I didn't do a good job on the interview. Maybe it's this in my background. Maybe, again, I don't have the skill set. Maybe they're looking for somebody else. Maybe they hired. Maybe I said the wrong thing. And the list goes on, right? So again, the event is the applying for a job or sitting through an interview. And the meaning that I attach to not getting the outcome that I want is that I must have, again, something was amiss, but it was my fault in some way. I'll give you another example, which is kind of silly, but it's reality, right? With your family, with your kids, your spouse, your significant other, a roommate. Let's say there's something that you've asked somebody not to do a million times, like could you empty the dishwasher? Could you not leave your shoes in the middle of the floor? Could you put the toilet seat down? Whatever it is, but you've said it. And you've said it again and you've asked again, and maybe this person or these people just keep, not hearing the message. We even attach meaning to that. And it's triggering, right? You could be irritated, agitated. It could just put you in a bad mood. It could start your day wrong. You could even get angry about it, depending on what it is that you've asked, right? So the meaning that we attach to that could be, they don't respect me, they don't care about my feelings, they don't listen, and so on and so forth. So again, the meaning becomes my story, and that becomes more important than the thing itself, because my husband leaving his shoes in the middle of the floor itself is not really a big deal. But if I attach meaning to that, and every time he does it, I tell myself that he doesn't care about me, he doesn't listen to me, he doesn't respect me, he's not blah, 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 right? So that's important. And so that's where we want to start to disrupt a little bit. We want to disrupt the meaning we attach to things, to the actual events. And so I know there's been seasons in my life where the meanings that I gave to situations just weren't true. But because I believed them to be true, they're really hard to get past or get through, right? Or to let go of. We're going to talk a lot about letting go as this next level living concept, to level up our lives, and letting go is a big part of that. And so ask yourself in that moment when these things happen, because you're probably going to say, well, that's great, but how do I change the meaning? We have to disrupt it. We want to challenge the thoughts that we're having. We want to start asking, is this fact or is it fiction? Do I know for a fact that I'm not qualified for the job that I applied for? Or do I know for a fact that I did a horrible job in my interview? Do I know that my friend is actually upset with me? And when we can start to debunk some of those meanings that we attach to things, we start to realize those things aren't true. And so now if I send a text message and I don't get a response, instead of telling myself they must be upset with me, or I must have done something to piss off my friend, I start telling myself, gosh, she must be going through it this week. Life is busy. She's got work. She's got this. She's probably got something going on that has absolutely nothing to do with me. And there's also trust there, right? I trust that if my friend was really upset with me, that she would tell me, or we'd have a conversation about that. The same with my husband. I think certain things are not as important to him as they are to me, when it comes to the way we, manage our stuff at home. And so I don't look at shoes in the middle of the floor, even if I've asked him a million times to move them. Now I just move them, or I created spaces for him to easily put his things that work for him and can be more of a habit, versus me just waiting to trip over them and then getting angry and irritated. But again, it's not the shoes on the floor, it's the meaning I attach to that happening. And now I'll take it a step further, because this can also apply with our relationships and people. If you have very triggering relationships or someone in your life, I'm going to challenge you in the best way possible. When you hear me say challenge, it's always from a place of love and compassion for self. It's not a negative thing, and not challenge because what you're thinking or feeling is wrong. But we've all had a relationship, right, that might be triggering or cause us to feel some sort of way when we're around that person. I really want to ask you to go deep here and ask yourself, what is it that this person is bringing up for me, about me, right? This is the one place where we're actually going to attach some meaning, or identify the meaning that we've attached in the way we want to look at what it means to us, right? So let me state that again, because that might be a little confusing. But if I have a relationship that every time I'm around that person, it makes me feel uncomfortable, or I feel nervous, or I feel just, I don't enjoy my time, or I start to feel bad in some way, they may be bringing up some insecurity in myself that they might be the trigger, but the meaning that I attach has something to do with me. And so I really want you to think about that when it comes to our relationship triggers and the meaning that we attach to the things that happen in our relationship specific, because that one's a little trickier than the day-to-day things that happen in our lives, right? When it comes to the relationships we have in our lives, the meaning that we attach to those can be deeper about ourselves than the day-to-day. So I hope that wasn't too convoluted, but anyway, spend a little time there. This week, my challenge is there something that frustrates you? Pause and ask, what meaning might you have attached to that? If you find yourself, getting triggered by things throughout the day, or again, situations that are happening, ask yourself, well, first take a deep breath, right? There's those pauses allow us to kind of step back for a minute and think about what's happening. Take a deep breath, step back, and ask yourself, what else could this mean? Instead of making assumptions about things that we can't control, what else could be going on? Could the person that was supposed to get back to me about the interview be on vacation? Were they out sick? Did they have a sick child? Did something catastrophic happen? Which often happens, right? We don't hear from people and we get frustrated, and then we realize that they had something really significant happening in their life. So it takes a minute to retrain the way we think. And again, we want to disrupt those meanings that we attach to these things that cause us stress, keep us stuck, and make us feel some sort of way. We're not talking about all the meaning that we give to things, but the things that keep us stuck, the things we can't get past, the things we can't let go of, those are the places where we want to get curious and figure out what's happening. Because we can't always choose what happens to us, but again, the meaning that we give to it could change everything, and that's really significant. So thanks for spending a little time with me today. I hope that maybe you had a few aha moments in this conversation. I hope you leave this conversation feeling encouraged and thinking about and reminded that your next level isn't about becoming somebody else. It's just owning and stepping into who you already are and just feeling free. Those things are liberating when we can let them go. And so here's to your next level life. If you have anything to share, I'd love to hear it in the comments. Thanks so much.